Hey everybody, Jeff Girk here, and another one of my infamous screencasts. Well, I know that you guys keep requesting these, and one of the funny things is that, ironically, every time I do get one of these requests or someone reaches out to me that sees one of these, whether it's shared or emailed to someone or what have you, everyone winds up saying the same thing, that they had no clue that something like this was possible. And this is something that I've been really working on for close to 20 years now. Really, for the most part, what makes this all come together, so to speak, is the combination of being able to locate the properties that will work inside of this very specific business model, and then really tying in the resources to really bring it full circle and have it done towards a very elegant process right now. And one of the things that I'm going to share with you today, which is my most passionate, is building and developing land from a raw piece of land and developing it into your custom-owned dream home. And I think this is a great opportunity. This particular property is in Clifton. It's on probably one of the nicest sections in Clifton, and it's a really great street, quiet tree-lined street, and I'm going to really get into all the specifics of that inside this little infamous screencast I'm about to do. So hope you enjoy. I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised of what's possible, number one, and at the end really have the capability of designing your very own home and then really being able to build massive amounts of wealth with very little amount of money out of pocket. In fact, really less than it would cost you to move into this same house if you were renting it, and also less money per month than if you were to rent this house. And I know that sounds like an unbelievably huge claim in a world that's riddled with a bunch of hype, but I'm going to prove that to you right on side this little webinar here, or whatever you want to call it, screencast. So hope you enjoy it. At the end, you'll have the opportunity to get in touch with me, whether you want to do a little one-on-one free strategy session, or you want to get a little bit more information. Whatever the case may be, I'll make sure that you have all those opportunities at the end of this, and I'll make sure that you have all the ways to get in touch with me. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this little screencast here. All right, so what you're seeing in front of you is the lot, right? It's a nice, fully approved lot from the town, ready to have your very own custom design home put on it. Here's another shot of the neighborhood and the street, so you can get a good idea of what it looks like. Like I said, it's a beautiful neighborhood, nice tree-lined street, one of the nicest streets in Clifton, in my opinion. Here's what I would put on here. This is a nice way to get a nice, beautiful home on an economic level. And of course, you can go bigger than this if you wish. I'm just trying to put this together with the biggest bang for your buck and the most return, if you will, on the investment. Obviously, you'll be able to custom design this really any way you want. Have the capability of really getting the specifics on how you want this whole entire thing to look like. This is what it would look like from scratch, and this particular one is a modular, and more and more I'm doing modulars, and in fact I'm almost shifting 100% entirely to modulars when it comes to projects like this, just because I've really enjoyed the process, and especially with this winter that we had, we're able to control quality control with these being built inside. So a lot of advantages, plus the simple fact that they're built with 2x6s, which means they're better built, they're stronger, and they're also more energy efficient. So I can go on and on and on for hours of why I feel that modulars are superior. But the point is, nowadays with the technology, you'll never be able to know the difference between this and a stick-built house. And again, I personally think that these homes are built better because of the fact they're built inside of a factory and built with engineering to withstand driving over a highway of 150 miles or more. So you can really get custom on what you want. Out of the factory, it comes with just regular siding, but inside the factory you can put all sorts of upgrades. Now the one I have here is a 9-foot ceilings, which seems to be you know, the generic way that the builders are doing everything nowadays, with 9-foot ceilings on the main floor, and that's exactly what I did inside here. So I'm going to show you really some inside pictures of the design that I had. Again, this is my design. The great thing with these, this one has a 9/12 pitch. You can go all the way up to a 12/12 pitch actually, but I'm just showing you this one's a 9/12 pitch. And the reason I point that out is because with these you can have an additional attic space, which can be finished either, you know, on site, or you know, you want to do that afterwards somewhere down the road, but you have that option, and that can create and convert this 2,100 square foot into close to a 3,000 square foot center hall colonial. And again, you can do some really great unique things with the stuff. Like for example, this is a bump out. What's great about the bump out is this little piece right here is bumped out about 2.5, 3 feet, which is great because then on the other side of this, if this was like a little bit wider, this is a project that we were working on, you would be able to get closets inside of there. So, you know, that's just another interior feature, but it just looks great too, having this little bump out here. And then if you notice here, it's matched by this one as well, which is just a really dormer peak. And what's great about that, getting back to finishing the attic, is that this whole area up here now matches the peak of this up here, and then all that additional space in there can be utilized and finished. And you can very easily put, like a lot of times what we're doing with these now is putting master suites up here. And you know, obviously every town's different if they'll allow that or not. Some do, some don't, but the ones that do, by just having this little dormer in here, you're able to get a nice big you know, master bathroom, and you'd be amazed how much room is up there that you're able to get out of it. So it's a good feature to have, and it's a good thing to you know, have for whether you're going to do it right out of the bat or maybe somewhere later down the road. Now this is my design. You can do any design you want, but I know that I'm just seeing some feedback throughout just being around a lot of different people who are in this process, and a lot of people really aren't doing that traditional, you know, formal living room. They're doing it in making a lot of times game rooms and like a little bar area that they get more use out of, instead of just having that, you know, little furniture in there that no one ever goes into, right? So that's how I designed this. So you walk in, everything's open concept. These are French doors, glass French doors. So really everything's kind of open concept here. Same thing with the kitchen, and you got your dining room over here, and then that's your living room with a nice fireplace, and then sliders out to the back. So this is the front view as you're walking in, right? So you walk in the front door. You've got, again, these are glass doors that go into the game room over here, and then there's another set of glass doors over on that side. So really, it's when you're walking through here, you'll really get the feel of you know, open concept, and everything's nice and open. Other side obviously is the dining room, and then here's the kitchen back in through there. Now this is just a different view if you're walking in from the garage, right? And then you've got over here, I did this with a different view where I removed the walls altogether and everything was really open concept. You know, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe it's a little too open concept, right? It's nice to have this little segregated area, especially if maybe someone else is using this area, and then this area can still be utilized, and the spaces aren't completely intermingled, so to speak. And then here's another view with the walls, and again, this is where the other set of glass French doors are, and it's just a little bit closer of a view, you'll notice too. So it's a little bit closer view of the kitchen and everything. Those are the stairs that go down into the basement, which I'm going to show you a little bit later. And here's a view from the corner of the kitchen looking out. So you'll get this main view here where you're able to see the dining room, living room with fireplace, and then again stairs down into the basement, which I left open because that would be finished. And then on the other side of that, you've got your front door. All right, and then here's the second floor. Now, I designed this trying to maximize as much space as possible on this second floor. If your plans were to finish the basement, you might be able to make these rooms larger and then have your master suite on the attic level. That's entirely up to you. That's the great thing about designing these. You get to design every square inch of this the way you want it. And by the way, these are all actual queen size beds, so I wanted to kind of illustrate that these are all still, even though we have 4 nice size bedrooms in here, they're still good size. You know, you're able to get a nice queen size bed in each one. And this one has a master closet, and then this one also has the master bath as well. And there's another main bath shared for the rest of the bedrooms. All right, and then you've got your little laundry area and your stairs up into the attic that you could finish either inside of the project or at a later date. Here's the master, by the way. And what I did here is I just left these walls open so that you can see it. Instead of them being closed off, it'd be really hard to conceptualize what that would look like. But you'd see nice big walk-in closet, nice big stall shower, soaker tub, dual vanity sink. Pretty much get the picture, right? All right, and then these are, if you remember from my the 2D, that those are the 2 bedrooms on either side of each other. And you get nice big dual closet doors, and that's again queen size bed. It's a little how the screenshot makes this look narrow. It's not that narrow, but it's a nice size queen size bed and enough room to have 2 end tables and some space in between. It's still a nice size, and again 1 across the hall from each other. This is the 4th bedroom. That's the one next to the master bath, and you notice again, queen size bed, 2 dual size closets, and then there's your entrance over there. Here is the laundry room and the stairs to the attic, or master suite if you're going to do that, or whatever else you want to do up there. So this is another little closet area, and then you've got your laundry and then your stairs up into the main suite up there if you're going to do that. This is the picture of the attic. And again, you notice that this pitch, you can really keep this. But what I do with these, by the way, a lot of times you'll see builders, they go across here and they make this flat, and then it's in an area that you're trying to make the feel of as large as possible. So we always keep this peak all the way up to the top, and then maybe put some support beams up across there, and actually it looks really cool too, as a matter of fact. And then we, with the dormer, again, you would have this all over here open, so you could put it probably on this whole side over here. You'd be able to put a nice, master bathroom, and maybe on the other side of here have your walk-in closet, and then over in this main area have your main living area, or your main, bedroom area. But sky's the limit on what you could do up here, and maybe put some skylights, stuff like that, and really come out beautiful. I've done that in the past too as well, and it's come really, really well. All right, now we're getting into the basement. Now we also do these, they're modular basement walls, and these are built inside of a factory in pieces. And the great thing with the precast is that they're guaranteed to be waterproof. They're waterproof at the factory. And in addition to that, they're also come pre-insulated, and the walls are pre-studded with 2x6s, and the holes are drilled in them, so if you want to run piping or electrical wire or anything like that, that makes for a very, very easy basement finish. And you can really do a lot with that. You maybe even, I remember I've had properties in the past where I've had rented this out, like sort of as like a roommate type scenario, but it was completely separate, where they had their own like little, their own little kitchenette area, their own bedroom, and was able to rent it out, and in a lot of cases pay my entire mortgage. So a lot of things, or you could just do a man cave or a family or whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's really the sky's the limit. These we have structured as 10-foot ceilings, so when you have your finished ceiling, you'll have 9-foot ceilings down here as well. So 9-foot ceilings in the basement, 9-foot ceilings on the main floor, and then the upper level is 8-foot ceilings. All right, let's talk some turkey, folks. the numbers. Here they are. Now, you're going to have some flexibility in the way you go about structuring this. So I'm giving you a range right now with everything, this entire project, including the lot and the home and everything, soup to nuts, is a range between 4 and 450. And that's with, ranging with basic updates and stuff like that. If you really want to go elaborate, where things can spiral out of control is with these little upgrades. If you get the most expensive granite and the most expensive hardwood floors, which in my opinion are, in an area like this, maybe if you were in Short Hills, you'd have to get like the mahogany floors and stuff like that, but we're not in, we're not there. We're in Clifton, and Clifton's a beautiful town. It's a nice town, but you don't want to over-improve it is what I'm trying to get at. So, I mean, nowadays, some of these stuff can be done on site, like the flooring we do on site because it's cheaper, especially with the lumber liquidators. You can get beautiful hardwood floors for $1.60 a square foot. So, if you keep that in mind, that don't go too crazy with the budget, you can also get really nice granite for a decent price too. You don't have to go crazy, and you don't have to get Thermador stainless appliances like your Wolfgang Puck, right? I mean, you can get the basic stainless steel appliances that are still beautiful, just not an arm and a leg. So if you do that and you keep on a budget, it'll be easily to stay within this 4 to 450 range. Now, what's also great, we've been doing a lot of recently, is adding solar panels. And not just like the solar panels you see where it's like no money down solar panels, where you're renting them from these people. They're putting the solar panels they own on your roof, and it's, to me, in my opinion, the wrong way to go about it. Here you're able to buy them and include them in the project, and in doing so, the way we've been doing these, we've been tying these in with radiant heat. So you have electric radiant flooring, and the whole entire house is electric, but these houses are highly energy efficient, and that's the only reason we do these. Plus with the solar, it makes complete sense. So with that scenario, central air, you would never pay one utility bill ever again with a complete solar system. Now, the other great thing is that if you design the system appropriately, you'll have extra energy that you could sell back to the utility, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like $250 a month, and that helps offset your costs of living there. Now, by the way, also that increases the value upwards of like 10%. And one other side note is that you can also include a backup system so that if the power ever goes out, you put the batteries in there. You have like a little battery system set up, and will power the entire house. Remember back to Sandy, the gas lines were crazy. Yeah, and you had a generator, but you had to sit in line for 4 hours to get 5 gallons of gas that will last you, a couple hours. So with this, you don't have any of that. If you put a backup system in, you won't have any of those problems, and it just will automatically kick on, and that's that. All right. So, and it increases the value upwards around 10%. So in a neighborhood like this, that's 50, 60 grand easy. Entirely pays for itself and then some. So it's definitely worth it if you can afford it. It's in your budget. It's definitely something I would highly recommend. So if you went that route, and you went the conservative route and 4 to 450, your total minimum out of pocket would be about $22,000 to $25,000, depending upon what types of upgrades you do. Like with the solar panels I just mentioned, for example, would be more on the higher end, where you're including everything. That'd be around 25 grand that we need. But that includes everything: your down payment, blueprints, engineering, and everything. You won't have any mortgage payments during construction, which takes around 4 months to complete everything. But to be honest, the modular, if it's built in the factory, takes about 2 months, and it's delivered that day. It's really done. It's a one-day process, and then you just have to make your main connections, and then really depending upon what types of upgrades you do will depend upon how much further time you're going to need to do some on-site. Like, for example, if you're doing the floors, hardwood floors, that's going to take a little bit more time if you're doing that on-site. So things to take into consideration. So it takes about 4 months, and during that time you're not making any mortgage payments. But you could move in within 2 months if you did all that stuff from the factory. Estimated construction with a stick built, 6 months. I'm not really doing too much of those anymore, but if you really want to do that, that's entirely up to you. You can do that. Total monthly payment after construction on the more conservative level would be around $2,800. And that includes everything, by the way, taxes and insurance. And I actually had another client that was thinking about doing this with their parents, and then, the parents would have their own area, and then they would have their own area, and the house is definitely large enough to accommodate both those, especially if you do the attic. Like would definitely be able. And if the parent is 62 or over, you could do the end loan could be a reverse mortgage, which means you wouldn't have any mortgage payment whatsoever. All you'd be responsible for is taxes and insurance. And as a matter of fact, we did this for my mother for a financial tool. So instead of her making her mortgage payment, she now invests that into various investment areas, and she's making a return on it. So there's a lot of different things you can do with a reverse mortgage, and it's definitely something that you might want to consider if that is a scenario that you are contemplating. Now, here's what really I love about this. The estimated value after construction between 550 and 650, maybe even more with the solar panels. And like I said, there you're looking at a project of $400 to $450. You're creating wealth in the range of $150,000 to $200,000, again, depending upon the upgrades. Maybe even a little more with the solar panels. Those are becoming more and more and more popular because they're getting less and less money to develop, and the benefits are increasingly becoming evident. So, and as that happens, the value increase will be more and more as a result, because energy prices aren't doing anything but going up. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, guys. It's been awesome talking to you. I hope this was eye-opening, because I know that a lot of times when I share this, it is with people. Hope it wasn't too long and drawn out, but if you want to just reach out to me, below you'll see a link to set up a free strategy session where I can really show you how this can come to fruition. Now, again, this is just Clifton, but I have lots in every town in New Jersey that are readily available to build. So, it's not just limited to this. I'm just giving an example of what's available. All right. And I'd be here every day recording a new video about each opportunity that's available. So at any rate, that's about it. That wraps things up. If you want to talk more about this, my business model, pick my brain for whatever reason you want, just click on that strategy session, or pick up the phone, call my office. And my receptionists are available 24 hours, 7 days a week. You'll talk to someone live all the time, and then they'll pretty much just work with our schedules. Your schedule, my schedule, work together, and then pick a time that works, and we'll get on the phone, answer any questions you have, and take it from there. Super low key. Any questions you want, you ask me. As a matter of fact, you ask me any questions you want. And then when we're done, if it makes sense to do something, we'll put that plan in place. And if you want to just kind of think it over, that's cool too. Whatever is copacetic with you is copacetic with me. I'm a very low-key guy. I don't know if you really know much about me, but that's the kind of person I am. So that's the end of the recording, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, hope it wasn't too long and drawn out, but I can go on and talk about these things. So that wraps things up. I will talk to you soon, and I will see you on the free strategy session if you want one. All right, take care, guys.